gentlemen, if you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dwayne The Rock
Let's
Johnson.
go.
Dwayne.
Let's go.
How are you? Is that chair
Jackie.
big enough? Legit, is that chair big enough?
What's up, man?
Yeah, we might have to
Good
do
to see you. Great to see you.
Dude, daps all around.
Yep.
Daps all around.
Con.
see you.
Daps all
How we
around.
doing, Dwayne? Good to see you.
How we doing, Dwayne? Good
to see you.
Oh, watch the basketball. Don't roll an
trip
ankle.
him. Don't trip
roll
him.
an ankle.
No, he's got Moana. He saw it. Yeah.
Always
Saw it.
so much Flair.
So much Moana.
Hey, dude, I would like to say that since we started the show, this was the crowd that was out front. But this is certainly not the case. That is certainly not the case. Everywhere you go, there is a buzz, there's an electricity, especially now. Congrats on just crushing life, bro. First of all, from all of us to you. Now, you're going to have to hold that mic, though, so we can hear. Yeah. You're going to have to hold that mic. You're going to have to hold that mic. Yeah, we can't hear a word you're saying. Yeah, well, that's.
You want
wanna wear
mine?
this?
You want
wanna wear
mine?
this? Do you want to wear this? Hold on, though. I didn't think this would fit the head. Seriously. You're muted. Can we turn this guy's mic
There's a
on?
button on there, I think.
Should I just give him mine?
No, it won't work. Go ahead, scream into that thing.
Jeez.
Oh my.
Cool. Yeah, it is. It's the Rock.
There we go. All right, here we go.
Can we turn on the headset thing?
How's that?
Hey, we smell.
You smell it.
We
All right.
We smell it. Congrats on everything. Obviously,
brother.
incredibly busy. You're a board member now on like a Fortune 600. Let's go.
Come on now.
Thank you, boys.
You're a
Thank you,
founder of
thank you.
UFL, one of the new spring leagues now, joining with the USFL and the XFL. You're going there,
Yeah.
and also you're the biggest conversation in professional wrestling again. How do you feel about the world right now? Feels like The Rock is on top, like you always have been, but it's very loud right now with you. Do you feel that? Do you sense that? And how do you feel about it all?
I feel it. I sense it. I feel it every day. I'd like to think, we try to keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on, whether you're in entertainment or not, of just the stuff that's going on around you. There's been a lot of big developments, a lot of cool stuff that I've been lucky enough to experience these past couple of weeks. Member of the board of TKO, complete full ownership of the name The Rock, which is a big, as you guys know,
Huge.
big deal. And of course, asking the question now: if The Rock goes out to eat, does he sit in a booth?
No.
Does he sit at the bar?
No.
Or does The Rock sit at the head of the table?
That place went crazy.
They went nuts. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and yes, of course, as what you're talking about in our world of professional wrestling, which we all love and enjoy, in our world of WWE, that's one of the best parts about it is when you can anchor in to the passion of the fans.
Yeah, today we got a press conference, 4 p.m. local,
We got a
7
big press
p.m.
conference,
Eastern.
man.
It's going
Yes.
to be T-Mobile, free to the public.
It's free to the public.
Gonna
It's
be-
Super Bowl weekend. Here we go.
And history is going to be announced, I believe.
History is going to be made. Cody Rhodes is going to make his decision on who he's going to face at WrestleMania, even though we all have a feeling of the direction that is going. So I cannot wait.
Okay, so a lot of people talking about you being back, especially for WrestleMania, or part of this press conference.
Yeah.
You've always been in shape. So I think us as wrestling fans have never been like, well, The Rock's not in shape. That's why he's not coming back into the ring. Is it schedule? Is it a point of your life? Is it a reflection point where you're like, I need to go back home and prove some stuff to myself and to everything? Or why do you think now is the time to be back in wrestling as big as you are with the WWE?
A few things, though. You talk about getting in shape and ring shape. As you guys know, football players, like, man, it's whatever it is, the sport that you do it, you love it, you leave it. It's tough to come back to it, right? If you guys had to put the pads back on, lace the cleats up, put the helmet back on,
Yes.
and roll, it's tough to do. In
Yes.
the world of pro wrestling, I haven't done that in a very long time. So when I do go back to the ring at WrestleMania, the most important thing is a training camp, which has already started. I have multiple rings set up over in Hawaii. I have a ring set up on the West Coast, and we're full on in camp.
How do you feel?
Hurting.
Yeah,
The body's hurting because it's hard. It's hard to adjust back. But in a way, it's like riding a bike. Like, I was very lucky in my career that I was somewhat of a ring general and knowing the ring and where to go and where to be at certain times when I needed to. But the training camp part of it is hard because you could work out on the weights. You could do all the stuff that you want to do. But until you go back in the ring and you take those falls, those slams, those suplexes, things like that, there's nothing like it.
I assume you're filming your entire training camp right now.
We're filming it, brother.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But by the way, to answer your question, it's an important one on why.
Yeah.
Why? Dude, I love it. And that's why I don't have to go back. I've been lucky enough to get to this point in my career. But I love what I do. I love getting in there, and I love pro wrestling. It's who I am. It's what I was born to do, and I was born in this business. But also, from the second that Roman Reigns years ago said, I'm the head of the table and I'm the head of this bloodline.
Greatest of all time.
That's when our story began. So it's converging now. It's converging to WrestleMania. I understand the passion, which we are going to address and we'll get to today. We could even get to right now. But at the end of the day.
Okay, let's talk about the passion. That has come from this D-Butt Attitude Era. Okay?
Yeah.
AJ,
Great.
Attitude Era. Con Man, a little bit later. Tone Diggs, Attitude Era, though. Okay? They're not the ones, though, that are filling the arenas right now, currently.
Right.
They're the ones that watch from outside.
Yeah.
And from being back in with Raw, it's like the arena, Cody wrote, let's go. This guy's put this company on his back. But from the people who've been watching wrestling for, like, let's say 20 years or whatever, it's like, wait a second, this is our generation's guy.
Yes.
Now coming, but you're representing, like, this feels like a generational conversation that's taking place between two iconic wrestling families. Obviously, the Rhodes family,
Yes.
and obviously your guys' bloodline is huge.
Yeah.
Did you expect the reaction to be what it was when we haven't even made anything official? Nothing's even been made official.
Nothing's official.
Nothing has been made official. Nothing has been deemed this or that, or a story isn't being end. But like, did you expect the reaction whenever you came back to be what it was, or was it kind of came out of nowhere?
With regards to WrestleMania, Rock and Roman together?
Yes, with Cody Rhodes.
With Cody here.
Yes.
I expected it. We expected it because it's right there. Again, you go back, and again, you like to think, hey, I got my finger on the pulse. We all try to keep the finger on the pulse, ultimately what the fans want and what they're saying. And sometimes, oftentimes, as you guys know, in sports and entertainment and anywhere, regardless of the vertical of business you're in, there's a wave of noise that happens right out of the gate.
Immediate.
That you want to just pause for a second. Let's not make any rash decisions. Let's wait and see how it all shakes out and see what happens from there. So it was just a matter of waiting. So now I was not surprised at it. I did expect it. But here's the fun part about this is you have, and by the way, I've known Cody for a long time. He's a buddy of mine. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and my old man, Soul Man, Rocky Johnson, they were boys. They tag teamed together down in Florida. We used to go over to the Rhodes house a lot all the time when I was growing up. And so we're tight in that way. I love Cody. I love his passionate fans.
So we grew up on that, though. Yeah. So, like, obviously we still use GIFs from those days. Your shut up, bitch, is one of the greatest responses of any tweet, pretty much, that you kind of want to have it. Do you miss that? Do you miss getting out and – because that's a character, obviously. Now, and you can't do that in real life, what you just did there. You can do it in wrestling, though. You can go up to an 8-year-old kid in wrestling and say, hey, you suck, kid. And then it's just like expected. Like that is, like I did that. I was a heel at NXT and it was during COVID. So like hockey boards, glass, and there was like a dad and a kid and they both had Adam Cole shirts on. They were booing me. And I look at this 8-year-old kid and I go, you suck, kid. And then you're a piece of trash to the dad. And then just walk away and it's like, this is the greatest entertainment form of all time. I assume that as you're doing everything else, and you told us in Colorado, like, when I'm doing my movie press junkets, it's not like this. It's not like this. There's nothing like the WWE. Whenever you walk out there and the arena just goes absolutely absurd, and they show that you have actual goosebumps. Yep. When you just got back into that, the Cody Crybabies, Know Your Role, Chicken Nugget, that whole thing, I assume it feels good to get back in there. It's a nice reminder of everything that you are, I assume, in the middle of all the shit you have going on in your life.
Dude, it's the special place. It's the special thing in my life that I love and I hold on to and I protect, because if you think about it, when we were on the show in Colorado, I knew that, you know, I don't get opportunities like this where we could just hang and chop stuff up and talk about everything from this all the way to over here. But in that, for that world of pro wrestling, where I'm able to do that and get into
You are an asshole.
Dude,
yeah.
that
20
was
minutes straight.
Great.
In an arena. Can't do that anywhere.
And we could have kept it going on, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing like that, by the way, which again, it goes back to, it's why I love it. It's why I go back. And, you know, the funny thing about whether it's the Cody Crybabies or whether it's the the surge of the net doing its thing within the first hour of information dropping. At the end of the day, there's a few things that happen. My music hits, the place goes bananas. Look, when we went in Birmingham and we did that big face-off with Rock and Roman Reigns, that was a long time coming. And if you think back from Birmingham, from San Diego, when I said, should I sit at the head of the table, to back when we were on in Colorado saying, hey, boys, we were supposed to do Rock and Roman at WrestleMania 39.
Yes.
And it never happened. Like, everything is strategic. Everything is well thought out. And
there's a story to be told there?
There's a story to be told.
No.
There's a longer story to be told.
There's another story.
Is that right?
No, I didn't know there was a potential.
But by the way, the key, I feel, is when you're in this position, I'm very lucky and fortunate to be in this position, is to also make sure, man, that you're flexible along the way. Like, the goal, the North Star goal to me is to continue to build WWE as a global brand. And if this is our world of pro wrestling fans, and it's a big fan base, as you guys know, going into WrestleMania, let's cast the net way past this. Bring new people in so they can enjoy the product and keep them here. And in order to do that, let's keep our eyes on the North Star, but let's be open to how we get there.
Long gamer, bud.
Bring some old people back in, too.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely
long
bring some
gamer.
old people. AJ has a question for you, Rob.
Hey, what are you doing? You launched a new line with Under Armour throughout this whole process. I feel like I see you fishing, walking by your pond, driving like your little UTV around. What are you doing with them now? I feel like every time I go into Dick's Sporting Goods, I see more setups of you throwing ropes, doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, so I founded a company with Under Armour, partnered with them. It's called Project Rock. And the brand has been great, all training gear. I felt like there was a space out there in the consumer product area, especially as it relates to sports and athletic gear, in that we play ball, whether it's football, soccer, baseball, whatever it is, hockey, whatever your sport is, basketball, everything starts and will always end in the gym. You go to the field, you go in the ring, you go in the cage, whatever it is, but we're all, even when we retire and those days are behind us, we all go back to the gym. So that white space was creating training gear for men and women and kids that is badass, it looks cool, but not only that, but most importantly, great performance. Yeah. So it's good stuff. I'm going to get you a pair.
Wow, hey, he can't fish for shit, though.
I'm not
You
good.
can't fish for shit?
Terrible. AJ was an Under Armour guy, too.
Yeah,
Back
click
in the day,
clack.
Click clack.
That's
Early
right.
on.
Hey, you're like a phenomenal angler.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
I see on the internet, yeah.
I'm not too bad, yeah.
How nice is that? You just get out there. I've never really got into fishing myself. I have ADD, so I don't got time for these fish to decide to eat my shit or not. Okay, I need to have success. We need to keep this moving.
Sure.
But every video you sent, and you had a great dolly shot in this last one, where you're looking over these hills, and then you got a fishing rod in the. It was that looks like one of the most therapeutic things of all time is fishing, and I guess that's one of the.
It is.
You need to get away there.
I love that. So for me, my sanctuary is fishing, and I know it sounds wild, but just driving in my truck because, and I got to protect that thing. I heard a saying a long time ago, and you got to protect the thing that allows you to do what you do. And for me, those things that allow me to do what I do are at home with the family, working out, fishing, and just driving in my pickup truck, because those are the places where I don't have 1,000 people follow me around, pulling me this way, pulling me that way. So fishing is also something I did with my old man when we were growing up, man. So
and
now,
Andre the Giant. I saw a young
it
Rob.
was awesome.
Hey, that was a great show. That was
Thank
a
you,
great
man.
way to tell your story.
Thank you.
I thought it was a very innovative way to tell your life story. People do docu-series, people do other stuff. To do a sitcom through, I thought we watched it. I was a big fan of what you did.
Thank you. I appreciate that. A lot of people were. Well, how about this for a little inside baseball information? So the creator of that show, who's my producing partner, Nanachka Khan, recognize the last name, is Nick Khan's sister.
Ah.
What a weapon. Nick Khan.
Yes.
Weapon.
Weapon.
Going to be a president. Well, maybe you too.
Together.
I didn't even.
Yeah, we
got
talked
two
about
presidents on a set
Khan.
potentially.
He's a weapon.
Yeah, absolute weapon.
He's a weapon. That's our guy.
D. Butch.
There he is right there.
And baby Nick. Hey! What a
There's the
legend.
most evil writer next to him named Brian Gewirtz.
Yeah.
He's evil. There he is.
Hey, I got to see him. You
Bud.
working a bus in Colorado, and I was like, "Damn, this is like my childhood happening right in front of my eyeballs here."
That was fun.
It was fun, dude. And then Yeah, you just had the entire arena chant, "You are an asshole" for 15 minutes. I mean, it was the greatest experience of all time. D-But's got a question.
Yeah, speaking of your old man in the bloodline, you said you were born to wrestle, to be a pro wrestler. How, for us, a lot of us feel like, hey, I was born to play football, I was born to golf, whatever your thing is. How tough was it for you to transition to become this huge, obviously, movie star, business owner, board member? How was that transition, leaving the ring and then becoming those things? And obviously, the ring is always a part of it. How was that transition for you? How tough was it?
It was hard. It was hard because I didn't want to be one of those guys that was just kind of hanging around and felt like I had accomplished. Like one day I had this real aha moment. I think it was in Madison Square Garden. It was a live event, no pay-per-view, no Raw, not SmackDown, just what we used to call a house show.
Yep.
So I went and I remember looking around the locker room and looking at every single guy with all respect and going, man, I've wrestled all of these guys. We've headlined around the world. I don't know what's next. I don't know if I can continue this kind of trajectory, WWE, because at that time we had already acquired WCW. Bill Goldberg just came in. I just did this big run with Brock Lesnar, made him champion. He was carrying the company for the next decade. That was the plan. So I had that moment where I felt like, all right, I'm at this point in my career now. If I decide to transition to Hollywood and have a film career where I'm not getting my ass kicked every night, I'm not on the road wrestling 225 nights a year in a different city every night, and that's, your marriages take a hit, your relationships take a hit. Life takes a hit. Yeah. I had a 2-year-old daughter at that time. She's an adult now who's in
crushing.
She's kicking ass.
She's feeling the effects of.
She's feeling it too. Oh yeah. Cody's got to finish his story.
Your dad, yeah.
Yeah, I've had some, and by the way, it's like she's also gotten death threats.
Surge.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, it makes sense. That's how it should be. Yeah,
like, come on, guys. We're all in this thing. And by the way, it's like what happens in the middle of the ring and on these storylines. Don't forget that, again, inside baseball, outside the ring, we all talk.
Yeah.
We all figure this thing out. We're all working together. So anyway, to answer your question, I felt like it was at a inflective time in my life, and I thought, okay, I could either stay in this or I can have ambitions to go and start a film career, and if I'm good, if I'm decent, if I could have some longevity, then maybe I could bring WWE and wrestling with me. So it was a little challenging at first because I left when I was on top.
Yeah.
And that's a big swing, and so very fortunate.
Do you ever think about the Hollywood person that told you to lose weight, and you just go like, oh, well, are you the dumbest person of all time? Because, like, obviously now you're just known as the biggest, strongest, most jacked guy on earth. Right. And that was not how it was originally supposed to be, right? Whenever you went over to the Hollywood world?
No.
They wanted him to be like a small little twig. Like a twig.
Really?
Right? Didn't they?
Yeah. So it was at that
They wanted you to be a model.
Like
they wanted you to be like a model.
Well, there was no wrestler coming over really trying to make it in Hollywood. Certainly no half black, half Samoan. Raises his eyebrow, says something about cooking. What kind of shit is that? And at that time, the biggest stars in the world were Johnny Depp, Will Smith, George Clooney. So they said, if you want to be a leading man and movie star, well, you got to be like that. Don't call yourself The Rock. You got to lose weight. You're too big. Get out of the gym. Like all that kind of stuff. Don't talk about wrestling when you do press. And if you don't know any better, which I didn't know any better,
of course,
you're trying to make it. You're like, shit. Okay, I think doesn't feel right. But I think so.
They're the experts.
They're the experts, and they've gone down that road. So I tried that for about a year or two, and then finally, either do it my way and fail, or I'm not going to do it your way. I got to do what's right.
Yeah.
So
it worked out.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
What do you do? You just eat. So you just eat for shoot. Okay. You're eating 7 meals a day.
No, about 6.
6 meals a day.
Way less.
Perfectly. I mean, we're talking about the proteins,
macros,
full the whole thing is just like dialed in, and that's every single day, except for we see the
cheat days.
Cheat days that are absurd.
They are absurd.
They're awesome, by the way.
They're awesome.
Yes.
They're the best.
Yeah, some of your best posts, honestly.
Look, I'm a big advocate. You guys work your ass off throughout the week. Enjoy yourself.
Have to.
Whenever that is. So, but no, the macros are measured. Everything is measured. In this training camp, it's the same thing. We have 6, 7.
Are you going to be bigger or smaller? Because we've seen you go from like, oh, this is a superhero to like, a little bit more speedy Rock. You know, like you. Are you? Do you have a desired weight that you're trying to get to for the ring?
I'll probably lean out a little bit. So what we do with this particular training camp, because it's ring work, I think the smart approach for us and for me isn't, hey, let's get down to, say, 262. If right now I'm at 268, let's just hold.
Where are you right now?
About 268.
Okay.
Yeah.
About.
You know at all times.
Well, I have a sense of it, but a lot of times we don't need to step on a scale. A lot of it is just how I'm feeling in the ring and how I'm able to move in the ring and agility and mobility and things like that.
So you just took down half a Zoa, though, so you're 268.02.
Yeah.
No, I'm ready to go. I'm going to run through this wall.
Con Man's got a question for you before we bring out another legend. I think you're hanging out with us through that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rock, obviously huge news yesterday, Moana 2.
Yes.
I mean, you came on in Colorado, and we talked about
That was the live
Moana 1,
action.
but Moana 2, there was talks of it being a series, going to be a movie.
Yeah.
I mean, how
Know your
juiced up.
info, brother.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course.
huge
We're
news,
tied in.
bro.
Yeah, it's
Huge.
massive. How pumped up for you are that? And then when was it decided, like, hey, let's just do a movie. This thing made $1 billion last time.
Yeah.
Why would we change the recipe? Let's run it back.
Dude, I love that you know that information, number one. And number two, thank you. It was a big news. We announced at the earnings call for Disney, they announced Moana 2. Well, here's what's crazy is happening right now is this year I'm going to shoot the live-action Moana
Oh, yeah.
with Tommy Kail, right, who's our director. He directed Hamilton, by the way, and Lin-Manuel Miranda music, the whole thing. So we're doing that, but we're also, we have to finish, which we will, our Moana animated sequel.
Yeah.
So as we were making this series, they had big goals and ambitions, Disney did, to create a series that was incredible. And, dude, when I saw they took me through this big show and tell, and I watched this like a piece of the animated version between Moana and Maui. New music, by the way, which is going to be really cool.
Yes.
I was so blown away by that, and it looks so incredible. And these animators, I mean, it's Lion King, and it's, they are the best in the world. What I saw in that minute-and-a-half presentation was incredible. That was supposed to be the series. Along the way, as we were putting the series together, Disney and all of us felt like, oh, man, this is a movie. Like you said, what are we doing?
Yep.
Let's make a movie out of this.
Come on.
And so here we are. Yeah.
Hey, we're pumped about
Smart.
Super
yeah.
pumped.
it. I mean, in Colorado, listen, kid, I can go on and on.
Yeah,
I can just win every night.
No. Yeah, you just right into
Ground,
it.
yeah, man.
And you can actually sing, too. So it seems like that's a perfect world for you.
I don't know if I could shoot. What
Yes,
can
you
I
can.
say except you're welcome.
Sounds
Perfect.
That's so good. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen.
The man, the
is
legend.
a friend of The Rock. Obviously, you're not going to be a friend of The Rock unless you've done something phenomenal and incredibly impressive. AJ Hawk just dropped his entire pack. You stay right there if you want to.
Yeah.
Do you
Again, like Jim orders.
Damn right. Welcome. See that? See that name right there?
Give me some.
See that?
Look at that name.